Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I want to share some tips and maybe like habits that I do to kind of get myself back on track. We just got back from a trip. We went to Florida. We were there for a week and we had the best time. But when it comes to like just feeling my best and eating nourishing foods, that's not always like priority number one on vacation. There was definitely a lot of eating out and just relaxing and, you know, not being on my, just not in my typical routine. So I wanted to share a few things I do when I get home. I'm just gonna kind of take you guys around vlog style as I actually do this like in real time, because these are very real, just basic things that I do to kind of share and give you a peek into what I do to get myself back to feeling my best. Now, I do want to make sure I make the point here that by getting back on track, this is not me, you know, trying to make up for all the bad things I did on vacation or the bad foods that I ate. You know, I'm not trying to like punish myself. It's not coming from a place of like a diet mindset. It's very much coming from a place of a nourishment mindset. I'm very passionate about intuitive eating, which if you've been on my channel, you know that. And I feel like a lot of times with intuitive eating, people think that there can be no like real strategy or you know, like real like nutrition like education or principles that go into it. It's just supposed to be like you're just fully listening to your body, which I totally understand that, but I think this is where I really differ from a lot of the you know, other maybe dietitians I see in the intuitive eating space, because I am still so for proper nutrition and really fueling your body and really focusing on that. And a lot of that does come naturally when you are intuitive eating, because your body does want to eat nourishing foods because it runs on nutrients. It is naturally going to crave that. But I do feel like there is room for really like focusing on nutrition and making it a priority without it being paramount, if that makes sense. And when it comes to getting back on track, a huge part of intuitive eating is feeling good, right? We are intuitive eating, we're eating intuitively so that we can feel good physically, like from a nourishment standpoint, from an energy standpoint, but also feel good, you know, without not having all the stress and the mental gymnastics that goes into dieting or, you know, having a negative relationship with food. So since a huge part of intuitive eating is feeling good, usually when I come back from vacation, my digestion is off. You know, I've been probably eating a lot more like sweets and things that I wouldn't eat necessarily all the time at home. You know, I'm eating out a lot more, which none of those things are bad, right? They're all okay. But when you do them a lot more concentrated, you know, in a way that's more concentrated than your body's used to, for me, that makes me not feel my best. And that's not necessarily something to be upset about or that I have to fix or, you know, do something extreme to, you know, get myself feeling better again. It's all about just gently getting yourself back into your normal routine and kind of thinking ahead to, you know, provide the nourishment and making your life a little bit easier in that way, if that makes sense. So this is not a dieting thing. This is truly a nourishment thing. And when you approach with a nourishment mindset versus a diet mindset, it's a much healthier, much happier place to be. And this like switch in mindset is actually what I teach in, if you haven't taken my free masterclass yet, highly recommend you go take that, because I really dive deep into the differences of these and how switching from a diet mindset to a nourishment mindset will like really change your outlook on food, which in turn will really like change your life. Okay, so one of the very first things I do or focus on is very simple, and that is hydrating. So I am going to fill up, this is one of those Stanleys, I love my Stanley, big giant 40-ounce tumbler. So basically hydration, I mean, hydration is key for literally so many processes in the body. It's really essential, but I find that whenever I am, especially like on vacation and traveling, I never hydrate enough. I just, you know, I'm out of my normal routine. I just don't drink nearly as much water. So when I get back and I'm trying to get back, you know, into feeling my best, that is like first and foremost number one. So lots and lots of water. Okay, so I'm gonna fill this up. Can you guys see me? So couple of tips when it comes to getting enough water in, especially if you're someone, when I counseled nutrition clients a long time ago, that was one of our biggest topics, was always water. People were just not drinking enough water. And for you to feel good, for you to really be nourished, because hydration can mess with like cravings and stuff, you really need to be drinking enough water. And the absolute minimum that you want to shoot for is like half your body weight in ounces a day. That would be like minimum. Like I would recommend even going over that. And you could tell, you know, like if you're peeing a lot and if, you know, your pee isn't like super yellow, like you are hydrated, it's kind of easy to tell. But one thing that has really helped me, I've been doing this for years, and again, it's very simple, but it's very effective, is first thing in the morning, like when I wake up, before I have coffee, before I have food, before I have anything else, I drink a bunch of water. Like if I can drink an entire one of these, I feel incredible. But if I can at least drink half, I know that I am fairly hydrated starting the day. And I notice when I do this, I am so much more apt to drink water throughout the day. Like it's like this weird reverse thing where when I start out hydrated, I feel like thirstier in that like I actually want to drink water throughout the day. Like I want to go for it. If I don't do that first thing in the morning and I go ahead and have coffee and I'm just starting my day dehydrated, it's like I don't want to drink water at all. It's very strange. So if you are not a big water drinker, having a hard time getting that daily intake in, try that. Just chug a bunch of water first thing in the morning before you have anything else and see how it makes you feel. Okay, another thing that I really like to be super on top of and regimented when I am getting myself, you know, bouncing back or whatever, is being on top of taking my supplements. I just recently did a video where I walk you through my entire very robust, well-rounded supplement routine. I explain why I take everything, what exactly I take, you know, and the purposes of each. So I will link that video in the card so you can go watch it. But I did want to point out one specific supplement, and I actually didn't mention this specific brand in the video because there's another one that I take. But if I want a high dose of it, this is what I reach for, and that is magnesium. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because if you are anything like me, if you go through, you know, a few days where you're just not eating like the most healthy, nourishing food, which is totally fine to do, but eventually it catches up with you and you start to not feel so great. And for me, that really throws off my digestion and things will really slow down, okay? So if you want to be regular, eating lots of real whole foods, fiber, being very hydrated, that is what's really going to keep things moving along. But there are certain times where maybe you're not eating that way, and again, that's okay. But if you want to help get yourself back on track, reverting back to eating well in general is going to do that. But a kind of a faster way to jumpstart things, that's not like drinking a bunch of caffeine, which that does work, but that's not necessarily the greatest thing for your body, is magnesium. So magnesium will actually like pull water into your intestines, which will help get things moving. So if I am just feeling like backed up, things are, you know, I'm not regular after not eating super well, or, you know, being on a trip and eating out a lot or whatever, I will just take magnesium before going to bed, usually for like a day or two, like a high dose of it in this powder form, and that will get things moving right along and make me feel a lot better. Okay, you guys, I'm back. Next thing that I'm doing to get myself back on track, well, we just got back from a vacation, so we need to grocery shop and meal plan and do all that anyway. But if there's ever a time where we are just like eating out a lot, or just not eating like, you know, again, the most nourishing foods, which it's okay to do that, but it does eventually make you not feel so great. So I want to stop doing that. I always go back to the basics, which is just having healthy food in my house, having meals planned, having the ingredients on hand to make homemade stuff, which is going to be the most nourishing and just make me feel my absolute best. So I am going to sit down and meal plan for the next week. I'm just gonna write everything down here. I've got, this is one of my, I did a video recently all about meal planning and grocery shopping, kind of walk you through my entire process, which is not that difficult, but it is critical for me and my healthy eating and intuitive eating. So I am going to just quick write down what we're going to have for this week, get everything planned out, all my thoughts onto paper so I can make a grocery list and we can get that done. And then we'll be stocked up on healthy food and have all the thought of what we're going to eat done, because that's always what trips me up the most. So we can have the next week of just healthy, wholesome, nourishing meals. Okay, you guys, so I just went through and planned out our breakfast and, no, dinner and lunch for the week. Breakfast, if you already watched that video, you know that I don't like to necessarily plan out. We just eat the same few things and cycle through those. But I'll share with you real quick what I planned for this week if you want a little inspiration. So I have chili and homemade cornbread, beef picadillo, or picadillo, I don't know how you pronounce it. This is actually from this book. It's a super easy, like seasoned ground beef over rice with some avocado and cilantro. Not fancy, but it's really tasty. Easy meal. Another night we're gonna have pasta with grass-fed ground beef and some broccoli, chicken tacos, Parmesan chicken tenders, which I like make myself, and cauliflower mashed potatoes, which I saw also in this book, which I haven't made yet, but I'm excited to try because they sound good. I have leftovers one night just planned, sourdough pizza, we always used to do that on Fridays, and then a ground turkey taco skillet. So those are dinners for this upcoming week. And I wrote up my grocery list so I can buy everything we need. So I'll have everything on hand to make those. So each day it's just easy. It's just a matter of executing those meals. And then for lunches, we've got chicken salad, avocado toast, grilled cheese for the kids, cheese, cracker, fruit plates for them too. Again, lunch is usually pretty simple. I usually prep something like in advance, so it's easy. But there we go. That's another huge task I need to do to get myself all, you know, back to normal and feeling my best. Meal planning and grocery shopping and stocking our fridge and pantry is so key. Okay, I've got a little friend here with me because this is, like I said, a casual vlog style video. But I just wanted to quickly share on the topic of, you know, healthy eating, grocery shopping, meal planning, you know, when you're trying to, quote, get back on track. I think it's very easy to fall into the trap of going from one extreme to the other. So what I mean by that is, you know, maybe you just get back from traveling, you weren't eating super well, and you know you need to like make a change so that you can feel better. Or maybe you're just in like a season of not eating super well in general, not taking care of yourself, not nourishing yourself. So you are thinking that you need to, again, make a change so that you can feel better. So much of the time people will go so extreme, they'll jump into a new diet, they'll go on a juice cleanse or whatever it is because they feel they need this big fix to this big problem. But really that's actually just going to backfire, because anytime there's any kind of restriction, the more extreme, the worse it gets. There's always going to be like a binge that follows. There's always going to be a fall off that follows. So, you know, you do the juice cleanse and you feel great for a couple days, but then you just go back to eating normally and you just were on a juice cleanse and you were so restricted, so now you're just gonna eat like whatever you want, and then you're just flip-flopping back and forth and you just never really improve. You just go from one extreme to the other. So instead, just focus on eating real whole food that has fiber, that has protein, that's going to lead to stable blood sugar. You know, eat fat, eat all the things that are going to actually fuel your body. Go watch my blood sugar video if you haven't already. Keeping your blood sugar stable will change your life if it's not something that you're not already doing. You may not even think about it, but there is a way to again, gently use food to nourish yourself in this way that allows for stable blood sugar. It will make you feel so much better. It will improve your cravings. It will just make you feel like a much more healthy, satisfied person. So just don't go to extremes. Don't jump into a new diet. Don't cut a bunch of food groups out. Don't do a cleanse. You don't need to do any of that stuff because it's just going to set you up for, you know, another binge that needs another cleanse or another fix. So just stick to the basics, healthy, nourishing, real whole food. It's not as extreme, so you might not feel better immediately, but it's actually something that's going to be sustainable and actually healthy in the long term, and it will keep you healthy. Hey you guys, okay, so it's a little bit later in the day now. We just got the kids down for bed and I am about to make, or more so prep, something for myself, which I'll get to in a second, and it's like a healthy dessert. So one thing that I like to do if I have just like consumed a lot of sweets, which when we were on this trip this past week, I definitely did. My mom made these like really good cookies. We had this really good like pistachio cheesecake one night when we went out to dinner. I think we had ice cream at one point. So definitely eating more sweets than I typically would. And there's nothing wrong with eating sweets and sugar it's okay, you know, in moderation. But for me, I notice that whenever I do eat like really sweet stuff, I crave more sweet stuff. Like it just kind of, you know, I have some, I want more. So that being said, knowing that I was probably gonna come home and I was gonna be like craving something sweet each night, I am going to make myself some chia pudding, which is one of my favorite sweet like snacks to have, and I'll usually have it like at night. And it's actually been a little while since I've made it, and I've been like wanting to make it, so I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity. Again, I want to stress that it's like not bad to eat sweets, okay? I'm not like depriving myself. I'm not feeling guilty that I had sugar. No, none of that. I'm totally okay with eating that kind of stuff. But if I get in like, you know, a habit of eating something like that every night after, you know, after dinner, then I will start to feel it. Like I will feel a little bit, I just don't personally feel my best when I'm consuming that much sweet stuff. So I am just kind of making myself an alternative that I actually want to eat and I look forward to, and it sounds good. That is gonna be like a sweet little something to have. And this won't like make me crave more sweets like eating something that's super sugary necessarily would for me. That's just something I've learned about myself. So I'm making something that sounds really good. It's sweet, but it's just a more nourishing version that I enjoy. Okay, so I already measured out, this is 1 cup. I'm just gonna quickly show you how I make it. This obviously won't be ready for tonight, but hopefully by tomorrow night, it will have set and turned into more of like a pudding. So I measured out 1 cup of milk. This is whole milk. We get our milk from a local farmer near us. And then I have chia seeds here. So I am going to measure out, I do 4, you guys see this? 4 tablespoons of chia seeds. 1, 2, 3. And chia seeds are a good source of fat. They're a really good source of omega-3s. And they are very gelatinous when mixed with liquid. So when they are mixing in the milk, they will turn very, very like gel-like, and it actually makes a pudding consistency. And then to sweeten it, I'm just gonna use a little bit of maple syrup. You could also use honey, either will work. And I'm just putting in just a little bit, not a ton. Like that's plenty. And then I do a little bit of, this is just vanilla extract. I don't measure, I just kind of eyeball just a little bit because this is just like 1 serving. And then finally, I do a little pinch of salt because salt always brings out the flavor in things. So just a little bit of salt. And then you pop on the lid and then you shake it up. And then what I'll do is I'll store this in the refrigerator in probably like, I don't know, 10 or 20 minutes, whenever I remember. I'll go back to the fridge and I'll shake this up again because it will really start to separate. You can already kind of see it starting to separate. Yeah, like that. And you want all the chia seeds to really be mixed up in here. You don't want it like clumping together. So in a few minutes, I'll shake that up once more just to help it really distribute. But then in like 24 hours, so tomorrow night, I'll be able to have this. It'll be much thicker, more like a pudding consistency. But again, it's a very nourishing option, and it's sweet, but it's not the same as eating like cookies or cheesecake or whatever. So that is kind of the last thing I'm doing to help get myself back to feeling like myself. I so hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This is definitely a little bit different, more casual of a video than I typically do. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed watching this, and please let me know like what other kind of videos you would like to see. Hopefully you're able to pick up like a new tip or idea. If you are watching this video because you feel like you're in this place of like, you've got to make a change, or just not eating well, you're not nourishing your body, and you're just not feeling well, it's so important that it really comes comes from the place of just, I want to feel better. I want to be healthier overall. I want to just instill healthier habits so that I can feel myself and so I can feel better and be a healthier version of myself. If you are coming from more of that diet mindset where it's just like, I was, you know, bad and now I need to detox, or I need to make up for it, or, you know, I'm guilty, I did something wrong. All of that morality, bringing that into it is never going to create like actual sustainable, balanced change that's coming from a healthy place. So I hope that you found this video, but I hope you also, or found this video helpful, but can you tell I'm tired? Oh my gosh, I need to go to bed. But I hope that you also see that I'm really coming from this place of just trying to be my healthiest self, which, you know, lifelong, if this is really the plan that I'm going for, this intuitive eating that has room for balance. And there's gonna be plenty of times where I'm like indulging a little bit more in, you know, going out to eat and cheesecake and cookies or whatever it is. So it's totally normal to have these things. It's okay to eat those things, but they may, you know, add up to you not feeling your best self. So that is how, this is how I kind of just get myself back on track in a really gentle way that is focused on nourishment. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me at Becca Bristow on Instagram. I'll see you over there. That's all I have, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.